The family that secretly rules the world. Over the centuries, these certain families have managed to gather insane amounts of money, power, and influence, eventually using it to place themselves in very convenient and crucial parts of society. These families are so influential, they've basically succeeded in the economic game and done a little bit of shaping society to their whims. Here are some of the most powerful families in the world. The Rothschild family. If you are aware of conspiracy theories, then you have probably heard from the wildest to the most credible Rothschilds. One way or another, that the Rothschilds had something. The Rothschilds have done everything from controlling every central bank in the world to even controlling the weather. With a crazy combined net worth of $400 billion, who are the Rothschilds really? Alien emissaries or just some insanely rich people? Well, what they are is an international banking and finance dynasty of German descent. They advanced to international prominence in the early 18th century and later created branches across Europe. They even rose to the nobility of the Austrian government. So yes, they are just ridiculously wealthy, but you probably presumed that. The historic upsurge of the Rothschilds' rise to power started with Meyer Rothschild, whose intense talent for finance subsequently led him to become a prominent member of the global banking industry and appointed his 5 sons in the financial capitals of Europe. They vigorously adapted to the Industrial Revolution during a leap in economic growth throughout Europe. Landing an oligopolistic position in world trade in oil and metals was so powerful, they could lend money to any country. Their clientele wasn't your everyday wealthy lord. They were out there lending billions to entire governments. In 1825, they supplied the Bank of England with enough coins to prevent a market liquidity crisis and lend the British government a £4 million loan after being asked just a few hours earlier if they had simply put that money in. These days, the family has taken a more reserved approach to being a financial superpower, while splurging their fortunes by donating large amounts of art to charity and overall avoiding flashy displays of wealth, particularly after their surrealist party in the 70s. The Rothschild family is undoubtedly very influential and secretive. Therefore, all the conspiracy theories. But whether or not they are blameworthy for the assassination of JFK or are suppressing climate change is up to the conspiracy theorist. The Windsor Family. The Windsor family is perhaps one of the most famous and influential groups of royals in the entire world, with family branches that stretch across Europe and a dominance that rigorously stretches across the globe. If that doesn't make you want to find your own Windsor heir to get married, wait until you become aware of how rich the youngest generation of British royalty is. George is already worth $2.8 billion, and his sister Charlotte is worth $4.3 billion. They are already earning 10 digits, and neither of them are 10 years old. The Windsors not only sit at the helm of a country with a GDP of $2.7 trillion, their power extends far beyond Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, and England, and reaches every continent on Earth, including Antarctica. Some of these include the Pacific island of Tanna, where the Duke of Edinburgh is regarded as a literal god, and Canada, where the portrait of Queen Elizabeth is portrayed on her $20 bill, which might sound a bit odd to you, but did you know that Queen Elizabeth actually owns 1/6 of the Earth's land? Of course she'd show up on a couple of bills. The Queen is actually the greatest landowner in the whole world, possessing more than 6 billion acres of land, and is actually the head of state of 16 countries. These countries are part of what's recognized as the Commonwealth realm and are among the wealthiest places in the world, such as Australia, New Zealand, and Canada, which would technically bring the Windsor family to roughly $25 trillion. The Windsors could manage a constitutional monarchy these days, but that doesn't wane just how influential they are. I mean, people have actual royal family tattoos. I'm talking about permanent drawings of Queen Elizabeth on their bodies. One could only desire one that was that famous. There is also the Royal Collection, an art collection owned by the British royal family, which is one of the greatest art collections in the world, with over 7,000 paintings, 40,000 watercolors and drawings, and about 150,000 old master prints. Koch Family. What do you get when you mix oil money, time, and a flourishing generational wealth? Well, you get the Koch family, a dynasty of oil billionaires who have molded both the economic and political landscape of the U.S. with a current net worth of $100 billion. the Koch family started their surge to power with a company that had a mouthful for a name. Now, to give you an idea of why the Koch family is on this list, please note that Koch Industries is currently the second greatest privately held company in the US and is recently the sixth largest in the whole world, with annual sales of $115 billion. Oh, but the Koch industry is not only wealthy, it's prolific as well. It had owned so many companies and has so many subsidiaries that now they do almost everything, and I'm not even overstating. These acquisitions were remarkably smart. Well, some of them, including the $22.5 billion Georgia-Pacific purchase. One of the world's largest manufacturers and distributors of paper, they offer a wide range of household products under well-known names, such as Brawny, Angelsoft, and Vanity Fair. They also listed $7.5 billion to buy Molex from an electronic components maker, and they also work with the U.S. National Guard for paper, electricity, and protection. Whatever apocalypse may come, the Koch family is ready. Not only is the family wealthy, they invest an insignificant amount of their fortune in being certain that the country's political landscape is exactly the way they want it. The family is passionate about real estate. They purchased a multi-million-dollar, 63-story, 4,000-unit hotel and casino. Billions of dollars have bought the Las Vegas Strip, and that was just the beginning.